morning. I'm Katy Galton, the nutrition educator at the Interfaith Food Pantry, and today we're in our Healthy Choices kitchen. I'm going to take advantage today of our beautiful, fresh produce that we have coming into the pantry now. We're getting into tomato season, corn, and lots of cucumbers coming in. I'm going to make, whoops, got caught with a little silk there. Today I'm going to make a Panzanella salad. Panzanella is a traditional Italian salad. It's been made for years, since at least the 1500s. It's a very basic salad. It includes tomatoes, cucumbers, vinaigrette dressing, basil, and ingredient that's a little bit different for a salad, bread. So I'm going to get started with the bread. I'm going to need a big bowl for this salad because we're going to be putting lots of wonderful things inside to the bowl. The first ingredient, as I mentioned, is bread. And this is a nice way if you have some old crusty bread that's gotten a little bit dry to use. I'm using this part of this whole wheat baguette. Of course, you know I use whole grains whenever I can. And what I did was I sliced it into slices and then put the slices into cubes. So I've cut my bread into cubes. And I actually put these in the oven for about 8-9 minutes at 300 degrees just to dry them out a little bit more. So it's not hard like a crouton, but the surface is a little dry. And that's so that they don't absorb so much of the dressing that they fall apart. So we're going to put these into our bowl. That's our first thing. You can hear them that they're a little dry as they go in. Now our next ingredient is our tomatoes. And you can see by looking at this tomato that it is a homegrown New Jersey tomato. This came into the pantry from one of our local farms yesterday. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to core it first. Of course, I've washed it. Put that in my garbage bowl there. Now I'm going to try to include some other vegetables into this salad as I make it too, because we know that the more vegetables we eat, the more nutrients, antioxidants, and minerals we get added to our diet. And so I'm going to be putting a variety of colors of different vegetables into this salad. So I'm just going to go along, cut this into bite-sized chunks. And really, most of the things that are going in, the cucumbers, the bread, they're all going to be about bite-sized chunk. These are going to go right in to my bowl. And some others here too. I already had done one tomato. So I'm putting 2 of these red, juicy tomatoes in to our salad. There's nothing like a fresh tomato like this. I can smell it, and I don't know if you can see the juice that's coming right out of it. That's all going to become part of this delicious salad. These go in. You can see how bright red they are. I mentioned antioxidants. Vegetables have a lot of antioxidants in them. One that's often associated and you hear about with tomatoes is lycopene. So a good source of lycopene. Next thing I'm going to put in is our cucumber. As with the tomatoes, I've already washed the cucumber. I used my vegetable brush when I washed it to really scrub it and get any dirt off, because I'm not going to peel this one today. This is a nice fresh one. It's never been to the grocery store. It's never been waxed. And so I'm going to just keep the peel on, just cut off the ends. When we leave the peel on our vegetables, you're going to get a little bit more fiber. And also, a lot of the nutrients are in that peel also. So here I'm just cutting this into quarters. And then I'm going to cut each quarter into quarters. And then just go across and again cut into bite-sized chunks. They go right in the bowl too. Whoops, one went flying away. We also know with our vegetables, I mentioned we want to try to eat the variety of colors. So I'm going to be adding some corn to this salad, which is going to give us some nice yellow vegetables. I'm going to even be using some lettuce that has a little bit of purple in it, which is a color that we don't see too much. We know that having vegetables in our diet helps reduce our risk of cancer, can help reduce our risk of high blood pressure and diabetes as well. So now, there we go. We've got our tomatoes and our cucumbers and our bread. And those really are our main ingredients. I'm going to put a few onions in. Red onion is nice too. This is a sweet onion that I'm going to put in. Then I'm going to make a very basic vinaigrette for this. First, I'll give this a good stir. Now, this is making a lot. You can see that. You obviously can cut the ingredients, and that's the great thing about this salad. There aren't really definite proportions of what to put in. You really can use what you have and adjust it to the amounts that you like. If you don't want to put as much bread in, obviously you can reduce that as well. We'll get that. This is just going to be a very basic vinaigrette dressing. I'm using some olive oil, and I'm using some red wine vinegar. And so I'm just going to add the red wine vinegar to the olive oil. Whisk it together. Now, I mentioned basil, so we're going to be flavoring the salad with the basil. You could put that in the vinaigrette, or you can add it separately to the salad. Now, you can see I was lucky enough to have some fresh basil. Don't worry if you don't have fresh basil to add to your salad. You could add other flavorings to this. So I'm just going to add a bit of salt and a touch of pepper to that, just a pinch of salt. And a dash of pepper. Whoop, that came out pretty fast. That's why I poured it into my hand, not directly into the bowl. Whisk that up. But if you didn't have the basil, you could definitely use some other seasonings. I pulled out some dried seasonings you could add. You could add oregano, Italian seasoning, or you could also use dried basil if you wanted to. This is just such a simple way to make a salad dressing. So I'm going to take this. And just put that on my salad. And toss it around. And I'll tell you, this salad is delicious. I made this at home for my husband and myself, and you can see it made a lot. So we had it for dinner, We had it for leftovers. It was great leftovers, which I added a little meat to it the next day to make it a fuller meal, but very tasty. What happens is the oil and vinegar gets absorbed a little bit into the bread, and the flavors really get diffused throughout it. Now I'm going to add my basil now, and all I did was I washed off my basil, and I just tore it into pieces. So I have, little pieces of basil that are going to get mixed in. And basil and fresh tomato is just a heavenly combination, especially when you have these wonderful fresh ingredients. So that is your basic salad. You can be finished there if you want, but I'm just going to add a few more things to it to take advantage of what we have. I'm going to add some white cannellini beans to it. That's going to give me a little bit of protein in the salad, so there again, it becomes a full meal salad if you'd like to. I'm going to stir those in. You can stop there if you want. But I'm going to add, because we have this beautiful corn, I'm going to add some corn to it. And there again, that's going to add that yellow color to it. When we eat some yellow vegetables, they're good for the immune system and also for vision. They have some B vitamins. What you find out when you eat vegetables is most of them have a little bit of a lot of things. And so when you eat a variety of them, you're just getting that cumulative effect, and it all adds up for goodness for you. So what I've done, I'm going to show you how to take corn off the cob. I've cooked some fresh corn to add to our salad. Okay, so I have an ear of corn. I pre-cooked this, and the way I cooked it is one of my favorite ways to do it when it's really hot out, and especially if you're cooking just 1 or 2 ears. I cooked it in the microwave, and all I did was I just put the whole ear, just like this, in the microwave for about 3 minutes. It's had time to sit for a while. You have to let it sit because it's very hot when it comes out. Really what's happening is the microwave helps the corn get steamed. The moisture from the corn steams itself in the microwave. So now I can just slip everything off. And you can see how easily all of the silk and everything comes off. So you save yourself the heat of the kitchen, and you also save yourself some work from having to struggle to take that silk off. And you can see it just fell off there. So now I'm going to take the kernels off of the cob. There's different ways you can do this. The way I'm going to do today is I'm just going to hold the corn and run my knife down it to take the kernels off. But what I've done is, if you've ever done that, you know that sometimes you do that and you find you have corn all over the place. It goes flying and you're chasing corn around your kitchen. So what I've done is I have a nice big bowl. I'm going to put a littler bowl inside it. And the theory is, when I put my corn here, the corn is going to all get caught inside the bowl. If I don't put the bowl inside, you can do it the same way, but sometimes it's hard to get down to the bottom of the ear of corn when you're doing that. So we'll do it this way. So I'm just going to hold this firmly and just run my knife right down through the corn. And you can see that corn is going very nicely into the bowl. So you have some nice fresh corn to put in the salad. I do this with corn at home. Take it off the cob like this and use it in wraps with chicken and vegetables. It's delicious. So we've got our corn. You can break it up if you want, or you can leave it in bigger pieces. Then again, I'm just going to put this into my salad. And mix it around. So that adds a little bit of color and also a little bit different texture in there too. Again, you can stop here if you want. I had some lettuce, so I'm going to add some lettuce to it. It's up to you. Again, you've started with this basic Panzanella salad, and now you're making it your own. You're using what you have. You're using what you like. So I have this lettuce it's a type of leaf lettuce. You can see the edges are darker, almost purple. Again, we're going to get that purple color from our vegetables. There really aren't many vegetables, if you think about it, where you're able to get that color. If you didn't want to mix this in, you could put the lettuce on a plate and serve the salad on top of it. But just mix a little bit in. There we go. Now I'm going to take a taste. Got my spoon somewhere here. Oh, I'll use the fork. I want to get a little bit of everything if I can, the red tomatoes and the yellow corn and the beans. I'm not sure I can do that all in one mouthful. It is so good. Get from the corn a little bit of crunch with a little bit of their corn juice, the flavor of the basil, the flavor of the tomatoes. It's delicious. So try it and see if you like it. So you can see in a very short time, we've made a delicious, a little bit different salad using some fresh vegetables that is going to be a tasty treat for your family. I really focused on the fresh vegetables today, but don't forget too that frozen vegetables and canned vegetables are good options too. They're both packaged at their peak, nutritional value peak, so you're getting good nutrition from them. Always look for the lower sodium options. That's just another way to get more vegetables for a healthy you.